Hello, Chester here. So today we're going to play more Dimir Tempo. I just wanted to put more gameplay videos on the deck out there for this specific deck. I think the core of Hydro, Tameo, and Frog will be a mainstay of this current format. The current meta is slowly shifting towards hating on blue decks, however, and we just did come from a meta where Golgari was looking to be the deck to beat. And our answer to that kind of meta is this deck. So just putting it out there that the meta is still shifting a lot. Next week, maybe this deck might not that be good anymore. It probably will still be good, but people might get the memo and play 8 to 10 removal spells in their deck. And we would have to adjust to that. So the only change we made from the previous version is just replacing a mana drain for a drown in the lock. I do think this card is well positioned right now because it can act as both removal and counter spell. And against Serpmine decks, sometimes they can take you off mana drain, and drown in the lock lets you have a relevant mode where if they try to take you off mana, you can still kill the creature that they resolve. And it also acts as a counterspell. It has its downsides, such as being useless against a psychic frog, or not being able to hit delve spells, or maybe you're up against a monocolor deck that doesn't play fetches. So we're only limiting it to a singular copy. Mana Drain is a card that is, I guess, the weakest interaction we have because it costs double blue, and it's always on the chopping block post board, but you can't completely take it off because hard counters are just necessary. In the sideboard, we added in Disruptor Flute because it's really good into the Golgari decks. You can name that right Shaman, you can name Ren and Six, you can name the One Ring. Against Sultai, you can name Oko. Against Necrostorm, you can name Necro. And we still have the Thoughtseize in here for the blue mirrors and the combo decks. And there are other cards that you might want against very specific matchups. Let's say Orcish Bowmasters, you want this against ring decks, you want this against blue decks, you might want Bitter Triumph, you want this to act as a casual removal spell against your unknown opponents. You have Surgical Extraction. This is generally just a good graveyard hate piece for, let's say, reanimate, or sometimes it has weird utility like, let's say you're up against a chorus deck, maybe you want to take them out of him. So it has some utility that way. Toxic Deluge is mainly for affinity or energy. So the basic game plan of this deck is to just land your, let's call these three guys here as your Ragavans. So you just want to be deploying this early on in the game. You have your removal to interact with your opponent. You have your Sulties, your Flare of Denial, your Mana Drains. Flare of Denial and Sulty are 2-for-1s. So you have to 2-for-1 yourself for a bit of tempo. And you can recover the cards lost anyway with the cards that Hydroponics Architect, Tameo, Psychic Frog draws. Or if that's not enough, you can just play Treasure Cruise for one eventually. Alright, let's try to play some games. Okay, another Lures deck. They're going first. I think on the draw, I can keep this because it's really aggressive and it has the removal to back it up. I'm going to lead with the Tameo here. She's gonna eat the first removal spell. We have backup anyway. Minor misstep. Been thinking about this card. But I seriously just hate the card because it's always going to be mana neutral. Okay, there's a mana drain. Maybe they're thinking about trying to cruise here. Going back to the minor misstep, I think this is a good fit in this type deck because most removal spells are one. Most threats are also one mana. So maybe if you're trying to do the tempo thing, maybe that's better. Feel like this is just okay. I think I just deploy Psychic Frog here. Spell Snare. Mana tight. Wow. They're gonna cruise. They have mana drain up. I think for this turn cycle, we should just pass. Okay, that's bad. Let's float blue there. I think I'm just eating this. All right, they're a gamer. I think here I just force the frog here. Can mana drain it. They can also mana tight it again. All right. Psychic frog. Let's try to salty that. We're seeing the downside of the hydroponics architect here. We're not drawing any fetch lands. There's a Bowmasters on board. Don't think I don't see this getting any better soon. So I think I'm forced to just treasure cruise in here. Let's see if they drain. Yep, they drain. We could play Lurus and the frog. What kind of draw would I need here? Yeah, that doesn't work. Okay, against the mirror, we want Thoughtseize, all the removal spells. Gonna remove the flares. Drown in the lock is bad. I think I'm good with this configuration. Let's play first. I think I just keep this even though 3 Tamios suck. I think we start
I'm late for class.
with the first Tamio. Okay, they let the Tamio live. Probably a misstep. They also play Stifle. I guess they don't. Okay, let's just keep drawing cards here. I think this is a great opportunity to play Bowmasters for them. Pretty sure they have a second one. Basically, this is how this game goes. We're gonna fetch. Gonna get to do this first. They can actually get out of this because they have lures. They are at an advantage in that regard. I'm just gonna take this. Let's say Psychic Frog. And just Thought Seeds here. What could they possibly have here? I think I just play out Psychic Frog here instead of playing Bitter Triumph. Okay. Let's draw a card first before trying to decide what to do. Okay, that is good. I think I just paid 3 life here. Okay. I think I just borrow where this. Okay, they're choosing Frog. Put that on top. Just gonna play out the borrower here. And I guess we can brainstorm now. All right. What do we want to do here? Think we go for the same game plan. Okay, I think we can keep this on the back of double bowmasters, but this hand does feel a bit too slow. All right, now it's less, and I'm guessing they're just gonna kill that Tameo.
I've read nearly the entire library.
The next turn we can play Psychic Frog. Let's try to put a stop here. Maybe make them think we had subtlety or something. I'm at reality. I think when they're tapped out here, nah, I'm just gonna hold Bowmasters. I think this is a game where I can afford to slow down. I think let's draw out their Bowmasters. Okay, I think trying to slow the game down here is beneficial for me since I have Cling to Dust and they're playing a bunch of mana tides, minor missteps. So I'm not really gonna win the I'm not gonna win the tempo game if I try to fight this early. I just need to make my land drops. And eventually I can play out this psychic frog out in the open. Because I'm not really too sad if my psychic frog dies or gets answered. I think this is fine. Is it time to do it now though? Maybe next turn. Next turn I can play triple two drop. Perfect. So this is basically where Thoughtseize is good. And they're not making land drops. So now I can just play Psychic Frog. They bring out the answer. Just pass. Tamio, let's play that. See if that resolves. They're using mana drain on that. I think I just pass. Maybe I try to go for Thought Seeds again. I really want to force some action here. Drown in the lock. Hmm. All right. I guess we can brainstorm. Okay, another Bowmasters. That's really good. I'm gonna keep Cruise on top. Okay. Okay, here goes. Here's a mana drain. Here's the second Bowmasters. Would be nice if their only answer to this one is another Bowmasters. Nice. Kinda hurts. Now they have to deal with this board. And we also have another Bowmasters. You could argue that I should have just played Bowmasters, but I think I want to play around them, keeping in sweepers or something. And now they're super under pressure. Okay, perfect. There's a Totsies. So what do we care about here? I think I just care about the Bowmasters. That's a cruise. I think I just let this happen. Make them use their mana now. They still have to answer my board. Okay, let's start with the token first. Since they let that happen, I'm just gonna play out Brazen Borrower. And now we're just going to Fatal Push this. Nice missteps. Right? Pretty close game. Okay, our opponent is Endurance. We basically have double removal here. Hopefully they're not on Frog because Drown sucks against Frog. This is a good one off in this current meta, I think, because you can kill Bargoyfs or something of that, something like that. People can cut you off colors right now and keep you off counter magic. So having the removal mode available to you is nice. Yeah, I should have. I think this is fine. I'm just gonna take this. There's an a Johnny.
What a beautiful day, brother.
I think we're just supposed to kill the Orcish Bowmasters here. Okay, that's a lot of lands. Let's just play Psychic Frog. This probably just dies. So basically, this is just energy being energy. And this deck would still be weak against this deck, especially since we don't have access to things like Stern Scolding. Let's see. Do I bank on them having second removal? The things that I have in hand are basically useless, so let's just do this. I think we're going next anyway with with this kind of board state. I don't think we're going to have a shot here unless we get lucky. Yep. So we basically just traded one frog, and they have the bombardment to back that up. Against this deck, we want the Toxic Deluge. Don't want the flares, the mana drains. Link to Dust is fine. We want Masters. We want Bitter Triumph. We don't want Borrower. I think I'd prefer Disruptor Flute in that slot. Yeah, there we go. Let's play first. No lands, no keep. Okay, this is an aggressive hand. Let's try to play this. Don't think I want Drawn in the lock. I want Bowmasters instead. And I'm gonna lead with Architect here. I think it's better to lead on Architect. If this eats removal and we draw something like Brainstorm, then Tameo is protected. But if they don't remove it and play something like Ocelot Pride, you get to do this. Gonna draw a card off that. I'm just gonna hold up Bowmasters here. And this is nuts about Hydroponics Architect. It got me another fetch that would trigger the next one or the next attack trigger on this. And you can even tap it as an island. They also have Bowmasters. That is fine. I think I just attack with both here. And I'm probably just playing Psychic Frog here. To be mana efficient. I don't have to kill the Bowmasters now. Because another play that you could make there is play Tamiyo and try to kill that Bowmasters. Okay, now that is concerning. Double Bowmasters is going to be hard to beat.
If you need me, I'll be in the library.
I do think it's not unbeatable because we can Mystic Sanctuary off the Chiefsters. Okay, get that Tamiyo. I think the way that we lose here is they just have the triple Bowmasters. Okay, let's just Sanctuary back the Thirst. We attack first before trying to do anything else here. Now they're gonna try to kill the Hydroponics Architect, I think. Okay, they're just going for face.
Perhaps there are more useful texts down on the surface.
Okay. Casual draw 2.
Every lane has stories to share. Violence is not the answer.
What do we do here? Don't think I want to play this Tamiyo because there's another Tamiyo under there. That just this that ends me. So let's try to draw a card. Okay, we just lost. That's the game for you.
Hunt. You won't stand with me. And we are enemies.
This hand is keepable. We don't know what our opponent is on. We have Fatal Push, Cling. We also have Flare. Okay, this looks like green black. Probably gonna take Fatal Push. Maybe Hydroponics too. Okay. We play out the Misty Rainforest instead of Delta because they know about the Misty Rainforest. Okay, that's a Fable. I'm just gonna Surveil here instead of playing Push on that. We don't want another land. Okay, there's a Tameo.
No, no! I'm late for class!
Now I have to think about flipping this or not. I don't think I flip this. I'm just gonna block. I'm gonna have to use Cling on that and probably Flare a Bowmasters. Okay, it's ADT. Now I don't want to flip Tameo here because I want to hold up Flare of Denial. It's too risky to try and hit one blue creature. And even then it's a pretty bad trade for me. If I need to sack like a hydroponics or something. I think this is just a whole up Flare of Denial angle because they generally have less cards in hand. Okay, it looks like they're playing Reanimator here. So, yeah, I think I just want to crack a clue here. Feels like they don't play Brainstorm in this deck. Or not Brainstorm. Orcish Bowmasters. Okay, there we go.
Tell me everything you know about this. Use your words.
Still holding up the Flare of Denial here.
Don't underestimate me.
I think we just push here. I need to save the borrower for a relevant line. Maybe they stick a reanimate. Okay. Now we can just treasure cruise and keep holding up the Flare of Denial. And yeah, they were just buried. Okay, they quit. Let's play first. I think we can do better. Okay, this is better.
I've read
Salty can pitch Tamio. That's sometimes nice to have 4 Tamios. Can always just pitch the extra. Or maybe sometimes even this dice. Okay, okay, okay. I'm guessing this is better than playing Psychic Frog. Okay, that's fair. Well, yeah. Does this happen? Now they're just gonna bounce the frog. I think I'm okay with trading a token. Guide of Souls. This isn't fine. No, I don't think I'm down for another land. Let's just go for this.
Not just a battle of arms. Respect the library.
Wonder what that is. Oh, it's a quantum riddler. Okay, that's really good. Really, really good. How do we solve this problem? I think I'm just gonna get back the push.
Violence is not the answer.
Let's just play brainstorm. Can't play out Riddler here if they get a land.
Think before you act.
Wonder what they found. Don't think we attack here. Okay, we're just gonna bounce this. Hmm. We're gonna draw 20. I don't think we can. Let's see. Unfortunately,
I am not defenseless.
think we have to find the Tamio first. Just gonna counter it. Oh shit. We should have. We needed to counter that. But for this deck, we just want Toxic Deluge, Bowmaster's Triumph, Mana Drain isn't good. Flare of Denial isn't that good here. Think I'd rather have maybe Thoughtseize instead. Let's play first. I think the sand is fine. If this was pushed, this would be better. Let's see if this gets stifled. Does get stifled. Okay.
Oh, I stayed up too late reading. Again.
I think I just Psychic Frog here to be mana efficient. Feel like this is a possible ephemerate. I don't think I need these lands. So I'm ready to get blown out here. Feel like if they had a removal spell, they would have done it on my turn. And if they have a removal spell here, they probably just drawn into it. Yep, our read earlier was correct.
Perhaps there are
It was
more useful
a
texts down on the surface.
it was an ephemerate. I'm just gonna attack here. I think I just main phase that. I think the last card is a Riddler. Oh, it's a mother of runes. That's really good. So, to strengthen their life total. Okay, it's an ephemerate. I should have done it first.
This is an interesting story.
Nice. I think this is fine. Okay, this looks like an okay hand. Generally, I just see removal I keep. Looks like they have a solitude in hand. There's a Riddler. There's certainly a solitude in there. Now I'm just not sure if I would pitch the cruise here. There's a solitude. Yeah, I think let this happen. That is really bad. Should have discarded one of lands. and maybe played out the Undercity. They're trying to look at my lands. Maybe they just have a stifle. There's a hydroponics guy. I think this is just a salty turn. So one push. Okay. I'm gonna play Undercity Sewers. Fortunately, we have to discard this. There's a deluge. How do we play this? Look for options first. Okay, we don't want these two. We're gonna have to pay.
Nothing like warm tea and a fascinating story.
I guess we have to bet that we draw into something relevant. Okay.
I'd love to hear stories from your home. Respect the library.
Hmm. Guess we just cast this. This is going to be tough to beat. And we're definitely just buying the treasure cruise. Don't think I have any outs to this.
I highly recommend this book.
Yep, this is basically the out, but we're just dead. Nice, nice. Opponent is going first. This is a one lander. A very good one lander. But let's still mulligan. This is a bad six. Oh no. Put two cards back. I think it's just the Sanctuary and the Bowmasters here. Oh no. Did not want to keep the Sanctuary because it's another tap land. Okay. I guess we're dying anyway. This is probably mono red. Let's see if they have a follow up here. Okay, Saga. Is that enough? That is enough. Okay, against this deck, we just want all the Thoughtseize. Bitter Triumph, Bowmaster's Flute. You don't want the mana drain. Thirst can go. Cling to Dust can go. What else can go here? I think John in the lock. Bad here. Maybe we should just play two Bowmasters. Let's play first. We're gonna keep this because we have our basic. And I'm gonna play the Delta. Okay. Now that is a good argument to play Tamio there. Now we have to find Frog. I think it's worth doing this so that we can eventually cruise into something relevant. Okay, there's a borrower. They can take off the basic here. Okay, it's just Karn.
My preparations are nearly complete.
Okay, their hand is stacked. This is not beatable. Opponent is on Giganta. I think this is a keepable hand. We have a lot of fatal push. They're likely a creature deck. They skip the first turn. Now I think we just play around the removal spell here. Okay. Okay, Hydro is nice. I think that just dies. Okay, there's a 3 drop. Now we can play Tamio.
This is an interesting story.
Let's play the Delta. Let's float black here. Now we're just gonna flip Tamio. Oops,
I hope
I
you
forgot the
enjoyed taking
plus.
notes.
That's gonna hurt.
I am not defenseless.
Get a Hydro. I'm just gonna play out the basic swamp. You're gonna see it. We have a bunch of removal.
Think before you act.
Okay, there's a fatal push. We have to deal with this. If I didn't want, this would be ulting next turn. Don't have to do anything there.
Use your words.
We have Bowmasters. Can just play subtlety here. Nice. So against John, I think we want Bitter Triumph. We can cut on the counter magic here. We run more Bowmasters. I think we can run a Toxic Deluge, maybe a Disruptor Flute. Maybe I'm going to go to Toxic Deluge. I think this deck is heavier on features than your regular Golgari deck. They might even have Ren and 6 in here, which is why I prefer the flute. We're just gonna present a threat here. You could take Tamio here. Okay, that was pretty perfect. Okay, this does mean that they don't have Bowmasters. But they might have a push. Do I play around push? Oh no, they probably don't have push. Let's just cling to this the push here. Okay, they're looking for action. They just found that. Yeah, I guess we pass here. Barrowglyph. I think I want to find a land here. Okay, I'll draw into the cruise. 6, 7. They have Veil here. I might be in trouble. Okay, I think we just hold on here. We can hard cast the subtlety, then bring back the treasure cruise. The thing that we should be thinking about is Abo Masters and push souls that. Okay, that is a problem. I think we can just choose away our problem. Okay, that's perfect. Bowmasters deals with that.
Boo and I are ready to rumble! Look at us. We are now.
And they die on the backswing. Nice. Welcome back. So, what do you think of the current situation of blue right now? So, there are less Golgari decks running around, and there are a lot of random, I'd say, slightly shifted towards anti blue, which makes sense because this deck is looking to be a really strong contender for the format for a while now. So, it's natural that people will start to hate on this deck. But still, that isn't a good reason to just scrap the whole deck. You have to keep trying to make changes, minor changes like this one. Maybe you don't want mana drains anymore. Maybe you want to max out Masters. Maybe you want to main deck Thoughtseize. Things like that small things like that can change a whole matchup. But again, this entire archetype is usually bad into energy. And you're going to have things like stern scolding, spell snare to have a good matchup against those decks. Which means if your sideboard can accommodate those or your main board can accommodate those, then maybe we can. Because if people are playing Lur's decks, Subtlety loses its edge. You might want to trim down this back to two, maybe three. Or if people play a lot more removal, maybe you want to kind of play a juke. So I have another deck here. It's basically my old Kaito deck, but is more updated to the current times. So let's say the meta becomes 8 to 10 removal spells per deck. A good strategy to take when that happens is to just completely blank the removal spells. So you can play Phantasmal Shieldback, Tameo, Orcish Bowmasters, and Baleful Strix. All of these replace themselves. And I have to go a bit over Tameo here because it has to attack to replace itself. But at the same time, it can protect itself from removal spells through Brainstorm. So she gets a pass here. And we're still playing the whole subtlety package, Flare of Denial package. And we're playing Kaito here as our Psychic Frog. It's just generally hard to kill because this is not a creature during your opponent's turn. It's a 4 mana planeswalker. And your Brazen Borrower is just your general permanent hate. Or it can simply act as a 3/1 creature that you can use ninjutsu on. And as for the sideboard, we just have Totsis, the usual suspects. So we're slightly trying to lean towards stern scolding here because I'm going to suspect energy a might make a comeback. So when that happens, this deck is ready. But yeah, that's one way you can adjust to a moving meta like this. I don't think Strix is that good in a Bowmasters meta. You might just want to put this to 4. But yeah, this is effective if people are starting to pack removal spells to beat Dimir tempo. It might seem like I'm basically playing the same deck each time, but the intent of the deck is to blank removal, which is how you should approach building decks in general. You should have a plan on why or how this deck attacks the current meta. And if you're playing this, you're simply saying there's a lot of removal running around. You want to have the advantage by playing creatures like this. So it's basically the same Dimir Tempo deck, but with different threats to get around the removal heavy meta. And in this particular shell, let's say the meta is wide open. People aren't really running a lot of removal spells. You want to be more proactive. So this is way better than the other list that way because in an unknown meta, it's just better to be proactive as possible. So playing Psychic Frog, Tameo, Hydroponics, Architect is really proactive that way compared to the Kaito list. And yeah, that's it. See you in the next video.